Hello friends and subscribers, hope you're all doing well and I hope you all had a lovely Christmas. I did, and I did watch the new Doctor Who episode, Church on Ruby Road, and I enjoyed it, although I didn't like the Goblin song. I'm sorry, I found it too cringy, to be honest. But other than that, I really enjoyed the episode. Ncuti Gat was a brilliant Doctor, and I think he could potentially become one of my favourites. And I really like Ruby Sunday as well. And I'm really looking forward to the next series. But anyway, in this video I'm going to do a ranking of the Carry On films. Now, my subscribers who are from the UK, I think will probably know about the Carry On films, but I'm aware that some of my subscribers are from the United States, so they might not know what the Carry On films are. Basically, it's a series of British comedy films made during the 1950s, 60s and 70s. Each film is a self-contained story, like a completely different story, different set of characters, but they usually all feature the same actors. Guys like Sid James, Kenneth Williams, Hattie Jacques, Barbara Windsor, Charles Hawtrey, etc. And they're usually shown on TV during holiday seasons, so during Christmas time and Easter time. And I love them, although it's fair to say they've not aged too well in terms of the humour, because the humour in them is politically incorrect by today's standards. Which is why, but when they show them on TV, they're like cut to shreds. A lot of bits are edited out. So the only way to see them in their entirety is to watch the DVD releases, which I do have. I have all of them. But in this ranking, though, I'm not actually going to rank every single Carry On film, because there's 31 in total, and it's just a lot, and I think the video would be too long as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rank my top 10 Carry On films here. So before I start, the ranking is just based on my own opinion. It's how I feel about these films. It's completely subjective. We all have our favourites, so if you'd like to give your ranking in the comments below, then please do. You can give a top 10, or you can rank all 31 films. It's entirely up to you. So without any further hesitation, let's get started. Now, all the Carry On films that are in my top 10 are actually my favourites. So this was hard to do. So, but number 10 is Carry On Girls, which is on this set. This is the Ultimate Collection Volume 3. So that one's on here. So this came out in 1973. I find it to be quite an underrated Carry On film. This was made at a time where the Carry On films were going downhill. But I really, really like this one. It's about a beauty contest at a seaside town, and it's really great. Sid James is in it. He plays the town councillor who's organising this beauty contest, and it's got Barbara Windsor, who's one of the members of the contest, and June Whitfield's great in this as well. She's the one who's trying to put a stop to the beauty contests. So this film is also like a satire on the women's rights movement. But it's an enjoyable film. It's also got Kenneth Connor in it as the mayor. Doesn't feature Kenneth Williams, unfortunately. And he is kind of missed in the film, but the film still does alright without him. I do believe he was originally supposed to play the part of the mayor, but he wasn't available, so they ended up Kenneth Connor ended up playing the mayor instead. It doesn't feature Charles Hawtrey. Charles Hawtrey had already left the franchise by this point because his drinking got a lot worse by the early 70s. So yeah, they sacked him. But yeah, I really enjoy Carry On Girls a lot. And then my number 9 is Carry On Matron, which is on this set. It's on volume 2. And yeah, 1972 this came out, so this is the last of the medical themed Carry On films, the ones that are set in a hospital. So yeah, this one's set in a maternity hospital. Sid James plays this gang leader and Kenneth Cope plays his son, and basically his son doesn't want a life of crime, he wants to go straight, but yeah, Sid James kind of manipulates him into being part of his criminal gang, and so Kenneth Cope reluctantly goes into the maternity hospital undercover as a student nurse to steal some some pills so that Sid James and his gang can sell them abroad. So yeah, it's a great film. And of course Hattie Jacques plays the matron. She always played the matron in the medical Carry On films. She does a great. I think this is my favourite out of all her portrayals of matron. I think this might be my favourite. And yeah, all the gang are in this one. Kenneth Williams, Charles Hawtrey. Yeah, pretty much everybody is in this one. But yeah, such a great film. And then number 8 is Carry On Behind, which is on this set, on volume 3. So this came out in 1975. And personally for me, I consider this to be the last great Carry On film. Because they didn't make many more after this, but the ones they made after this just weren't very good in my opinion. So for me, this is where I think the series should have ended. So yeah, some see it as just like a copy of Carry On Camping, but with caravans instead of tents. But, I honestly I love it. Although it's similar to Carry On Camping, I don't see it as a copy of Carry On Camping. It's missing some of the regular stars. Sid James is not in this one. Barbara Windsor's not in it. Hattie Jacques is not in it. I know Sid James was supposed to be in it. Yeah, he was supposed to play a part in it, but he wasn't available. But it's got Windsor Davis in the film, who I love. I think he's brilliant, and he plays the part that I think was intended for Sid James. But yeah, he does a good enough job at filling in the Sid James role. And Kenneth Williams is in this one as well. He's kind of I'd say he's kind of like the lead in this film. And yeah, he's amazing. But yeah, I enjoy this one. I think it's underrated, and like I say, I think the franchise should have ended there. And number 7 is Carry On Screaming, which is on this volume 1 set. And yeah, this is great. This is basically a parody of the Hammer horror films, which were really popular at this time. So yeah, 1966 this came out. And it stars Harry H. Corbett, who we know from Steptoe and Son. And he's playing the role that was intended for Sid James. Although Sid James is missed in the film, I think Harry H. Corbett's performance is just great, and I kind of wish that he'd appeared in more Carry On films. So yeah, it parodies stuff like the Munsters, and also Dracula, Frankenstein, House of Wax, The Mummy, Jekyll and Hyde. Also Sherlock Holmes as well. Harry H. Corbett's character is kind of like a Sherlock Holmes. But yeah, and Kenneth Williams is he plays the evil doctor in this one. It's great. If you're a fan of Hammer horror, I recommend Carry On Screaming. You'll love it. It's such a unique Carry On film. It's it's very different from the other entries in this franchise, but yeah, definitely go check it out. And number 6 is Carry On Again, Doctor, which is on this set. It's on volume 2. So this was another one of the medical Carry On films, another one of the hospital ones. And this was also the last Carry On film of the 1960s. So 1969 it came out. And it was the last one to feature Jim Dale. And Jim Dale plays the lead role in this one. And I think this is his best performance in a Carry On film. He's just amazing in this film. Features Sid James in it. Sid James usually plays the lead role in the Carry On films, but in this one he has a smaller supporting role. But he's great in it as well. He steals every scene that he's in. And yeah, I love this. It's just such a great way to close out the 60s era. And I love how it has 3 main settings. During the first act, it's set in a hospital. During the second act, it's set on the medical island. And then the third act, it's set in the Jim Dale's clinic. But yeah, great film. And now we're into the top 5. Just looking at my notes here because I've written them all down. So yeah, at number 5 is Carry On Loving, which is on volume 2. So this one's about a dating agency, which is run by Sid James and Hattie Jakes. And yeah, this was actually the first Carry On film that I saw, so I have a lot of nostalgia for this one. It's great. And yeah, 1970 this came out, so it's a new era for the Carry On films. And this one kind of introduces a new generation of Carry On stars. It still has the old gang in it, like Sid, James, Kenneth Williams, Charles Hawtrey. They're all there. Most of them are there, but there's also some younger actors as well. Like Richard O'Callaghan plays a main role in this. So yeah. But yeah, I really enjoy Carry On Loving, and yeah, it's another one that I'd recommend. So yeah, if you've never seen the Carry On films before, the ones that are in my top 10 here, the ones that I'd personally recommend. Number 4 is Carry On at Your Convenience, which again is on volume 2. This was released 1971. And this is a political satire. So this one, the first half of the film is set in a toilet factory, and the second half of the film they all go on a trip, on an outing to Brighton. So yeah, it's a satire on the workers going on strike, which happened in Britain in the early 70s. But yeah, it's great. All the gang's there. It's got Sid James once again. And he's brilliant as always, although he plays a different character in each film, but every character he plays in the Carry On films is very similar to one another. It's like they're pretty much the same character, just with a different name, although he often plays characters who are called Sid, but just with a different surname. Because Sid James, he always was kind of typecast. He always played the same type of characters. But yeah, I love Carry On at Your Convenience. And surprisingly, it wasn't well received when it came out. This was actually the first Carry On film that failed at the box office. But it's now has a cult following, and it's now a fan favourite. So yeah, so at number 3 is Carry On Abroad, which again is on this set. It came out in 1972. This is the one where they go on that package holiday to this Spanish resort, and it's hilarious. The hotel that they're staying in is not finished. It's still half built. And Peter Butterworth plays the owner of the hotel, and yeah, he's hilarious. And yeah, all the Carry On gang are there. They're all pretty much all of them are in this one. And this was Charles Hawtrey's last one, sadly, before he was sacked. Because the character he plays in this film, he actually plays a character who is an alcoholic, and this was done on purpose to basically equip his need for a drink on set. So it's kind of sad when you think about it, but yeah, Carry On Abroad is just great. And the island that they stay on is called Ellsbells, which is a play on the term Hell's Bells. But yeah, I love Carry On Abroad. And then at number 2, it's Carry On Camping. So I've got it on this set here, and yeah, the quintessential Carry On film. I think everybody knows Carry On Camping. I think everyone who's lived in Britain has heard of, even if they've not seen it, they've at least heard of it. It's got that iconic scene where Barbara Windsor's bra pings off. And yeah, when they showed Carry On Camping on the TV, that scene was cut. But yeah, it's an iconic scene from the film, and yeah, it's such a great film. And again, it's got all the gang in it. You've got Sid James, and you got Hattie Jacques and Kenneth Williams. I love the chemistry between Kenneth Williams and Hattie Jacques, and the chemistry between Sid James and Bernard Bresslaw as well. Yeah, it's just I just love it. It's just a comedy classic. It's a must see. So that's my number 2, and my number 1 is Carry On Doctor, which it's on this set, Volume 1. So yeah, this is another hospital-themed Carry On films, and this is my favourite of the medical Carry On films. So yeah, this was released, well, I'm going to say 1967, because there are different internet sources. Some internet sources say that it was released in 1967, and there are some sources that say it was released in 1968. But I'm just going to say 67 here. But yeah, it's great. It's got all the gang in it. Sid James is there. He doesn't play the lead role, though. He has a slightly smaller role, because he was actually recovering from a heart attack when this was being filmed. But yeah, but he's there. They're all there. Kenneth Williams is there. Hattie Jacques plays the matron. In this one, the matron is the antagonist, and Kenneth Williams is very antagonistic as well. He plays he plays the senior doctor, and he's funny as hell. But he is kind of, as a character, he's pretty unlikable. And you've got Frankie Howerd, who plays like the guest lead role in the film, and he's brilliant in this film. He steals every scene that he's in. And he only appeared in 2 Carry On films. He was also in Carry On Up the Jungle. I really wish that he'd appeared in more Carry On films, because I really wish that he'd been a regular, because he's just brilliant. But yeah, Carry On Doctor's just great. So that is my ranking of my top 10 Carry On films. Now I know some of you are going to be asking, where's Carry On Up the Khyber? Where's Carry On Cleo? Well, I love those films. Carry On Cleo and Carry On Up the Khyber, they're great films. I love them. Just like I love most of the Carry On films. But they've just never been my favourites, because they're historical themed Carry On films, and the historical Carry On films, although I do enjoy them a lot, I love them, they've just never been my favourites. My favourites, as you could tell by my top 10, are the medical themed ones and the holiday themed ones. but I still enjoy the historical ones. Yeah, and I agree that Carry On Cleo and Carry On Up the Khyber are classics. You know, they deserve all the praise they get. They're just not my favourites. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this ranking, and give the video a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe for more content. Click the bell so you don't miss out on an upload. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in another video. Take care.